you can see tiny little welding solder marks, and you can't see those anywhere else because all of these others were done with a slightly different technique. Also, at some point, these runners have been refinished. This has a dark stain on it that was not factory original. Over the years, the bottom has worn down, and you can see that this is the color that these wood elements should be. So because of that one little tiny weld, even though it was done very sensitively, and because of the finish, it puts it in a category of a lower price range. However, it's still pretty impressive for a mass-produced chair. Do you have any idea what it might be worth?
Maybe $1,000, $1,200. Don't know.
Now, this is not in great condition, but it is rare, even in this condition. I would put the value of this example at $1,500 at auction.
Okay.
Now, if it had the original finish and it had survived without being rewelded, conservatively, I would say $3,000 to $4,000 for an example that really proves to us that this was essentially a first edition. I love this example. I just want to hug it.
Wait, let me get my camera.
This we purchased in Wisconsin, and I really don't know much about it.
I brought a painting. It's my mom's. It's been in our house forever. A friend of hers, his grandfather was a doctor, and so sometimes people couldn't pay, and I guess they gave him art, the bartering system. And the grandmother took a liking to my mom, and so he gave her some of her paintings. I really don't know much about it, but it's one of my favorite paintings that she has.
Well, the artist is Chanyu Sanyu, and he mostly is known by just Sanyu. He was a Chinese-French artist. He was born in China. His family owned one of the biggest silk weaving mills there. And they were so wealthy that his brother, who ran the mill, who was actually 37 years older than him, really took a liking to him, saw that he had a talent for art, and basically paid for him to stay home and learn how to draw, paint, and do calligraphy. And in 1921, he went to France, and he was really enamored by the exotic world of life drawing from models. And so he put out about 2,000 of these drawings of female nudes, all done from life right there with the model.
And in France.
While he was in France. And he did almost all of these with Chinese ink and brush, which is the same way that he did calligraphy. So there's a real fluidity to his work. He was able oftentimes to capture these figures in just a few brush strokes. This one's really special because it is that ink on paper, but it also has the addition of the red pigment, which is a watercolor. In an auction today, an estimate for this drawing would be $50,000 to $75,000.
Wow. Okay, great. That's great. My mom will be really happy to hear that.
I purchased it at a local flea market. It's from a 1914 silent film. I just love the graphics on it. I love the Flying A. I actually collect old signs and advertising. And it reminds me of Flying A gasoline. I don't think it has anything to do with it, but I love the graphics on it.
And how much did you pay for it?
$500.
And do you have any other posters in your collection?
This is the only poster.
So you've never owned a poster before. You saw this at a flea market. It was $500, and something about it reminded you of gasoline, so you bought it.
Plus the beautiful women on it.
Fair enough. And how do you know it's from 1914?
Did a little research on the internet, and I could find some information, but I couldn't find the exact poster.
Did you find out anything else about it?
Not much. It listed the actors and actresses.
Yes, it is a movie poster from 1914. And it's one of these movies that has been lost to time. So if we wanted to watch it now, we couldn't. As you said, there's a record of the director, there's a record of the actors, but that's it. Now, in the world of movie posters, what makes a poster valuable are the fame and the renown of the actors and the director. I'll point out on this poster, it doesn't even name who the director is. But the poster really is a great image, and it has a very interesting message, a sociological drama in which human nature is given free play. Sounds a little bit like a temperance movie about anti-drinking, but in fact it's not. And if we read at the bottom, Her losses at bridge caused many anxious moments. So we can imagine that here's a woman who's losing a lot of cards and is getting upset at what
She looks
follows.
like it.
And you were saying something about the coloring on it to me earlier?
It almost looks like it's got a little bit of hand drawn. The diamonds and the hearts don't look.
You know, it's not hand drawn, it's a lithograph, and where the ink is missing, that's because the register of the lithographic stone was slightly off. Now, what drew me to this poster was not so much that it was color coordinated with my outfit, although you might think that's the reason I chose it, but the fact that it is a playing card motif. And a lot of people collect playing cards, a lot of people collect images of gambling. This, as I mentioned, is a bridge poster, and when you looked it up, you weren't able to find any comparables, so we know that it's rare. So how do we price a very rare lost movie poster for a not so famous movie? Any guesses what it might be worth?
I'm hoping around 1,000.
Well, I talked to some of my colleagues at the collectibles table, and I said, maybe there's a big market for people who collect images of bridge. And in fact, there's not. Bridge is sort of a game that's going out of vogue. Had it been a poker image, it would have an additional value. Even if it were a chess image, people collect chess imagery. It's our opinion that at auction, an estimate for this piece would be between $1,500 and $2,000.
Okay. Well, I did good then.
If it were a poker image,
Right.
the value would probably be double or triple.
Man. I still love it.
My dad was in World War II. He was a waist gunner on B-17s, decided to stay in the Air Force.
Yes.
And when I was little in the 1950s, we were stationed in London.
Walter couldn't understand it. The state then called a white man, Ernest Welch, who said he was the furniture man who collected money at the McMillan house on the day they were having a fish fry. But it wasn't the
Alexa,
Rhonda Morrison was
turn
murdered.
music off.
He said he remembered better than anyone when she was murdered because he was her uncle. He said that he had been so devastated that he went to the McMillan residence to collect money on a different day. The lawyers made their arguments, the jury retired, and less than 3 hours later, they filed back into the courtroom. Stone-faced, one by one, they pronounced Walter McMillan guilty. Chapter 4, The Old Rugged Cross. In February 1989, Eva Ansley and I opened our new nonprofit law center in Tuscaloosa, dedicated to providing free, quality